Sarah missed her sister Emily. They were close. Emily was always there for her. Now Emily was gone. A drunk driver. It wasn't fair. Sarah kept Emily's things untouched. Her room was a shrine. Clothes in the closet, books on the shelf. A framed picture on the nightstand, Emily smiling.
Sometimes I sit in Emily's room. I imagine her laughter. I can almost hear her voice. It's comforting and painful at the same time.
Midnight, the witching hour. Sarah's phone rang. It was an unknown number. She hesitated, then answered.
Hello?
Sarah's voice trembled. Silence, then a whisper.
Sarah, it's me.
Emily, it couldn't be.
Emily?
Sarah's heart pounded in her chest.
He lied, Sarah.
The voice was faint, distant. Then the line went dead. Sarah stared at the phone. Who lied? About what? Fear crept into her, cold and sharp. Every night the phone rang at midnight. Every night Sarah listened to Emily's voice. It spoke of secrets, dark secrets.
He wasn't who you thought he was, Sarah.
The voice was getting stronger, angrier. Sarah was terrified. Who was Emily talking about? What secrets was she hiding? The calls were changing her. She couldn't sleep. She couldn't eat. The dark circles under her eyes deepened. Section 4. Unveiling the secrets. This chapter delves into the hidden truths that have been buried for too long.
The voice on the phone revealed a terrifying truth. It was a call that would change everything Sarah thought she knew. Emily's accident was no accident. It was murder. The evidence Sarah found confirmed her worst fears, and Sarah knew who he was. The memories came flooding back, each one more painful than the last. Mark, Emily's boyfriend. He's dangerous, Sarah. He's coming for you. The warning was clear and urgent.
Emily's voice was a desperate plea. Sarah's blood ran cold. She could feel the fear in Emily's words. Mark, he had seemed so heartbroken after Emily's death. But now everything made sense. But Emily's words echoed in her mind. They haunted her, pushing her to take action. She had to do something. She couldn't just sit back and wait for him to find her. She had to protect herself. But how? The clock was ticking and she needed a plan. Section 5. Terror's Grip. The phone calls continued, each one more disturbing than the last. Each night the terror grew, wrapping its icy fingers around her heart. Sarah was living in a nightmare, one she couldn't wake up from. She was trapped, with nowhere to turn, no one to help her escape this relentless fear.
He's watching you, Sarah. He knows your every move.
The voice whispered, sending chills down her spine. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. She was being watched. She could feel it, an unshakable presence. Every creak of the floorboard, every rustle of leaves outside her window sent shivers down her spine. Fear consumed her, making her every breath shallow. She was living on the edge of a razor blade, teetering between sanity and madness, with danger lurking at every corner. Section 6. The Shocking Truth. This is a tale that will send shivers down your spine and make you question the very nature of reality. The phone rang again. Midnight, the witching hour, when the veil between the known and the unknown is at its thinnest.
He's here, Sarah. The words echoed through the empty house, filled with an urgency that could not be ignored.
Emily's voice was a shriek of terror. The line went dead. Silence filled the room, a silence that was more deafening than any noise. Suddenly, her front door burst open. A dark figure stood in the doorway, casting a long, menacing shadow. It was Mark. His eyes were wild, his face contorted with rage. He looked like a man possessed, driven by a dark force. He lunged at her, a crazed look in his eyes. The room seemed to close in around them, the walls echoing with the sound of her heartbeat.
Sarah screamed. He was going to kill her. The realization hit her like a ton of bricks, paralyzing her with fear. Just like he killed Emily. The memory of her friend's lifeless body flashed before her eyes. Then she woke up. She was in her bed. The room was bathed in the pale light of dawn. The nightmare had felt so real, every detail vivid and horrifying. It was all a dream, a terrible, terrifying dream. Relief washed over her, but it was short-lived. She reached for her phone. She had a voicemail. Her hands trembled as she pressed play. It was from the police. They had arrested Mark. They found evidence. He had been stalking her. He was obsessed with her. The nightmare was real, just in a different form, just like he had been obsessed with Emily. The pieces of the puzzle started to fit together, each more horrifying than the last. Sarah listened to the message, her blood turning to ice. The reality was more terrifying than the dream. It wasn't Emily who was calling her every night. The calls were a manifestation of her own subconscious, a warning from within. It was her own fear, warning her, protecting her. Fear had become her guardian, her silent protector in the dead of night.